Before we begin with our teepee setup instructions, we are going to demonstrate for you the original method that the native people used to determine the proper length for the 3 tripod poles. We will include this as an interesting historical reference only. You will not need to use this method. We will be giving you all the necessary measurements that you will need as we progress through this setup process. In general, there were 2 different structural shapes or geometries for the Plains teepee. Some teepees were perfectly shaped, symmetrical cones. But some teepees were asymmetrical in shape. The back of the teepee was more vertical, or straight up, than the front of the teepee, which was longer in length and had a more sloping angle to it. The reason for this was the strong winds that blew across the Great Basin of the United States. The longer, sloping east side of the teepee framework would serve to brace the teepee against these strong prevailing winds. This asymmetrical shape requires that the poles in the front of the teepee frame be longer than the poles in the back of the teepee frame. This is the style teepee that we make, and it will be the style teepee that we will be setting up for you today. This is frequently referred to as a Sioux style teepee. We will be setting up an 18-foot size teepee that is painted with our personal ceremonial design. To begin the traditional method of laying out the tripod poles for an asymmetrical or Sioux style teepee, we must first locate the vertex that is used to draw the arc. Then, we need to locate the exact point where the poles will cross on the lift pole flap. Here, I'm going to lay pins exactly as we will be laying the teepee poles themselves. The north and south poles will go straight down the spine of the teepee, and the 2 stakes here will show you the point at the bottom of the lift pole flap, where the door pole will cross the north and south poles in exactly this fashion. This is the layout that we are now going to create by stepping off in the old traditional way to find this exact point for the north, south, and door poles. Notice that they cross right at the base of the lift pole flap. So the next step is we want to tie a line at the end of the smoke flap at the corner where there's a peg loop provided. This line will give us an extended straight line down the smoke flap edge to help us locate the point from which we want to start our measuring around the bottom edge of the teepee cover. Now come back up to the top, measure the distance from the face of the teepee to the point where the rope is tied, and then do the same down beneath the door. I will measure from the fabric again, just beneath the door hole, and line the string up with that distance. Now we have a straight line running down the smoke flap edge. Put a stake at that point because this will be the beginning point for walking around and doing our measuring around the bottom arc of the teepee. What we need to determine now is the proper length of the door pole as it crosses the north and south poles, as you see in the diagram. Now we will begin at the stake, which is approximately at the position A on the diagram you just saw. We will walk toe to heel slowly around the edge of the teepee, counting our steps. So leave a stake in the ground approximately 1/3 of the way around the teepee. You'll use this stake to position exactly where the door pole goes when you finish your step off. Now continue walking toe to heel around the teepee in the old traditional manner. When we get to the very center back of the teepee, directly down the spine, stop and put a stake in. For this 18-foot teepee, I've counted 27 steps. So now we come back to the start, to point A. We walk around the teepee again, toe to heel, to 1/3 of the way. So at 27 steps, we will now go 9 steps, and that will be the exact position for our door pole in laying out the tripod. This stake now is exactly where we will lay the door pole on the edge of the teepee. This will make the door pole the correct length for setting up this asymmetrical teepee. Now we will lay the north pole and the south pole down the spine of the teepee. They will be laid exactly as we showed earlier with the 2 small sticks. Now we are ready to position the door pole across the north and south poles. We place the butt of the door pole at the position marked by the stake, which we determined earlier in our toe-to-heel walk-off method. It is very important that the door pole cross the north and south poles at the base of the lift pole flap, as you see here. This concludes our demonstration of the unique and simple traditional method of determining the proper lengths for the tripod poles.
Hey.